Hey guys, and happy Monday. If you haven't already tagged your coaches in our coach reminder post, go tag them because this call is going to be so good. So before we get started, I just want to recognize some top successful earners for this month and top recruiters. So first of all, we're going to recognize those that are changing lives, and this list is insane. These are just the top 10, because if I said everyone's successful points, we'd be here all night long. Okay, at the top of the leaderboard with 120 points is Amy Rada. If you guys know any of these people that I'm about to be announcing, please shout them out in the chat. If it's your coach, your success partner, your teammate, give them some credit because this is freaking insane. The month is not even over, by the way. All right, so 72 is Amanda McGuire. Success Club 56, Carly Lindor. Success Club 54, Sammy Glanick. Success Club 34, Taylor Ricker. Success Club 30, Alex Police and Katie Roser. Success Club 26, myself. Success Club 24, Kelly Walker. Success Club 22, Nicole Arkell. So those are the top 10 successful earners. And guys, the month is not over. Know that you can still earn your way onto that board. Next are our top recruiters. So these are people that are bringing on new coaches to their team. The numbers on this board, again, are insane. Everyone that I'm about to shout out has basically hit diamond in this month alone. At the very top, again, Amy Rada, 21 new coaches. What? That's insane. Freaking insane, guys. You go, girl. Also insane with 15 new coaches, both Amanda McGuire and Sammy Glanick. What? Ridiculous. 10 new coaches, Taylor Ricker. 9 new coaches, Alicia Spakowski, newest diamond, go girl. 8 new coaches, Alex Police and Kelly Walker. And then with 7 new coaches, myself and Carly Lindor. So congrats to everyone on that board, off that board. You guys are all super inspiring. And I'm not going to talk anymore because you just want to hear from our guest speaker. Steve is going to give you a little intro.
All right, I'm super excited for you guys all to be here tonight because tonight we have somebody who, let's find Josh, somebody who I've known for a couple years now. Josh and I actually met on a ski trip in Jackson Hole, which we have made a yearly thing now since then, 2 years ago. And Josh is just one of those guys that I've respected from the beginning. He has been in Beachbody since, not, correct me if I'm wrong, Josh, but not the very beginning, but basically like 1 year in, something like that. So he has seen this company come from very little to where we're at now, and he has been crushing the business the whole time. So Josh is an awesome guy, and basically we gave him an open platform tonight to speak his mind and say, you know, his experiences and what he wants you guys to hear, what he knows that you need to hear. So Josh's stats are
just a second. Hold on a second.
Take amazing. A deep breath. So first and most importantly, Josh is a father of 3. He's a husband, and he was the top coach, #1 in 2010, which is 3 years before we signed up. So he's been killing the game for a long time. He's 2-time top 10, 3-time elite, 1-time premier. He's part of the Million Club. And he's a former CAB member, which is one of the most exclusive parts, which is a board that Beachbody Corporate puts together to find out what the coach network needs, and they only consult the top people. So that's awesome. And I think, Josh, Melinda, your wife, is going to hit million here this year as well. So he has every piece of knowledge that you can possibly obtain in this business. And without further ado, we're stoked to hear from you, Josh. Can you hear me?
I can. I think you have that's unmuted.
Can't hear you.
It's pretty loud over here. I don't know. I think it's Melissa, maybe? It looks like it. There's just a screen popping up. It's
all right, I'm gonna try
this.
All right, can you talk?
Yeah. There we go. I think that might be good. There we go. Okay. All right, now. Okay. So,
dude, we Jamie had our sound off, so everybody could probably hear you, and we're just like, no. Okay,
Like,
sorry. We're
sorry.
good now.
I muted the other person you guys were all talking about. All right, we're gonna mute ourselves.
Go
Bye.
ahead.
Are we good? Are we good? Check, check, 1, 2. Can you hear me? Can we? Okay, so we're good. No, I really appreciate you guys giving me the introduction. I'm actually really excited about this call tonight. I'm excited for every call that I do. I love being a guest speaker. I love speaking. I love sharing my story. I have so many different crazy stories, and if I shared them all, I'd probably be talking for 3 hours. Steve knows a lot of them because we've been getting closer the last few years. But I'll tell you what, though, before I get into what I was going to talk about, I'm in awe with you guys. I mean, seriously, not just you two as people, but what you guys are doing with the business. And you guys are running through those numbers with all your coaches, and it's seriously impressive. I mean, crazy impressive what you're doing. And you have 157 people. I can tell you this. I've been on a lot of guest calls over the last year or two. I've never had as many with what you guys have on tonight. So, that says a lot about your team. And it gets me excited because I love speaking to large crowds. So I'm probably going to get fired up and maybe a little emotional, which is weird for me because I'm not really an emotional guy. But when I'm sharing different aspects of my story, I tend to get a little emotional. But no, you guys are killing it. And I hope you all know, seriously, all 160 of you that are on this call, 162, it just keeps going up. All of you that are on the call, I've been in this business a long time. I'm a grandpa, right? I'm a grandpa, and I've seen a lot of people come and go, and it's very rare that I come across people with such integrity that truly, truly care about their teams like Steve and Jamie do. And I sincerely mean that. I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass. I really, really do mean that. You guys are really good people, and I have the utmost respect for what you guys are doing, how you're molding this company, because you guys are the people. You guys, your team, your whole team is molding this company, right? And it's really, really neat to see. Because I was one of the first people. I wasn't one of the first that signed up. I was actually 2 years after they started Team Beachbody. But I've been there. I've been through a lot, guys. I've been through a lot in this business. I've seen a lot of people come and go again, and you guys have something special with your team. So don't ever take that for granted, because there's a lot of people out there who are stranded, who need help and need assistance, and you guys have just incredible leaders that are paving the way for you to succeed. And it's cool to see, and I'm glad to call you guys friends. So I'm going to share my story. Okay, because y'all probably have no idea who I am. You're like, who's this guy? And I'm 33 years old, by the way, and I started coaching when I was 20. I just turned 23. So I signed up in July 7th of 2008. That was the day I started as a coach. And what's really cool is that my son was born on July 7th. In 2016. So it's a special day all around, obviously for his birthday and me signing up as a coach way back when in 2008. But I want to talk about two crucial moments. I see somebody that said grandpa status. Amy Rada, hi Amy, I see you're the one with like 120 something success club points. You're rocking it, girl. Rocking it. So anyways, so there's two crucial moments in my life that shaped where I am today. Two moments. And it's kind of interesting because the first moment was a financial situation or a physical situation, and the second moment was a financial situation. And I guess the first tip that I'm going to give you, because I think that this is something that I see so much of, I want you guys to embrace your emotions. And what does that mean? There's so many people who purposely ignore the situation that's happening in their life. Right? So maybe you're going through some sort of situation with your husband or your wife, or maybe you're going through some sort of situation with your health. Maybe you're going through some sort of situation like what I'll get into in a minute, being on government support, not being able to pay your bills, but financially. But if you look at the majority of people out there, what do? They play ignorant to the fact that something is wrong. Deep down inside, they know that they need to change, but they don't do it. Because it's a lot easier to bury the emotions than to let them come out and feel the pain. But I'm going to challenge you guys to do something. And this doesn't have to be just about business. It could be about relationships. It could be about relationship, maybe with your children or your spouse. I want you to allow yourself to feel the pain. Because the moment that you allow yourself to feel the pain, that's the moment you'll never want to feel that pain again. And when you feel it, you have no other option but to change. And I already told you guys I'm not an emotional guy. I've never been an emotional guy. But there were two moments in my life that shaped who I am, who brought me to where I am today, not just in this business and all the success I've achieved, but as a husband to my wife, as a father, as a friend. There were two moments. The first moment was when I graduated college. I was a college baseball player, and I got a degree in finance and business. And the whole plan was I wanted to start my own business eventually as a financial advisor, because my parents own a business. My grandpa owned a business. He's passed away, unfortunately, but I looked up to them and I wanted to follow in their footsteps. But after I graduated college, I started out my career as a financial advisor, hoping that it would lead me to become a financial planner. But to make a long story short, I got into this career and it wasn't anything like what I expected. So what happened is I'm getting text messages, and I'm going to mute myself for a minute. But what happened is that I got to a point to where I was just getting depressed. All right. And maybe some of you guys are in that situation or have been in that situation, but I wasn't diagnosed officially as being depressed, but I was coming home. I was drinking every single night. I literally would grab a bottle of rum and I'd sit down by myself in the dark and just drink all night, because I did not like where my life was going. I thought everything was paved out for me. I was going through some really, really tough situations with my ex-girlfriend, or my girlfriend at the time, and just things were just not good for me. I stopped working out. I ate like crap. And one morning I woke up, and I remember this so specifically. I kept ignoring that something was wrong. And one morning I woke up and I stood in front of the mirror. I looked at the mirror and I stood in front of that mirror. And for the first time, I let the emotions come out. I was not happy with who was looking back. Not just from a physical aspect, but a mental aspect as well. I was letting myself go. And it was at that moment that all the emotions just came rushing in. And I just said, F it. It's time to change. It's time to do it. And I started doing a lot of research online because I wanted to find something that would truly help me change. You guys know, I needed a nutrition plan, and I needed a good workout program. And I came across P90X on an infomercial one night. I sat there and I watched the P90X infomercial for about 30 minutes. And I just felt like, and I don't know if you guys are big believers, you know, I felt like God was leading me in this direction. It was the weirdest. I'm like, why the hell am I watching an infomercial? And why can I not turn the channel here? And why do I feel like this is something that I'm supposed to do? I mean, every other time I see an infomercial, I'm that type of person like, okay, you know, let's flip the channel. Let's go find something else. But here's this infomercial, and I saw it, and I just couldn't stop watching it. And I just felt called to do this incredible program. So I went online on eBay, and I purchased it from eBay from a coach who was selling it illegally. And I'm so thankful for that moment because this coach was selling it illegally, this came with this little slip inside that said you could go online and you could register for your Team Beachbody account and get yourself a coach. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but I need some help right now. And Barbie Kalev, Sigi's wife, was assigned as my coach. I was her free customer lead. And what was so cool and what I respected so much about Barbie was that we talked more about everything else that was happening in my life than we did fitness. So in a time where I didn't have many people to talk to and I needed guidance and direction, here was this woman who didn't know me, who reached out to me and offered her support and was a friend to me. And she guided me along this program for 90 days. I didn't have one sip of alcohol. I was 100% committed, didn't skip a workout, and I got into the best shape of my life. I made a transformation video shortly after. My transformation video, I put it on YouTube, got 1.5 million hits on it. My results were insane. And you guys are going to learn that I have the type of work ethic that it makes total sense. Like when I'm committing to something, it's like 100% all in. I'm just going to get it done. And that's what I did with this program. So what happened was I completed the program, and Barbie's like, hey, dude, what, you know, how do I don't even know how she talks. It's this weird accent. And she's like, hey, you need to become this coach, right? You need to become a coach. And I'm like, no, I don't want to become a coach. I don't know what, like, come on, Barbie. I'm too busy trying to figure out my life, my career. I got to get this shit straight, okay? So I told her no. And I remember this coaching was in the back of my mind for the longest time because I had all these people coming to me and just saying, dude, what did you do to get these results? And I'm not kidding you guys. I was up till 2 a.m. every single morning, even though I got up at 6. Answering emails and messages from people, and I wasn't even a coach. Just people wanted to know what I was doing. They're like, what are you doing? I'm like, well, I love to help people. I love helping people. I've always loved helping people. I'm a big believer in the Big Brothers Big Sisters program. I was a volunteer for 4 years, and I still support them financially. Like, I love helping people. It's what I do. And I got and I just love, like, I just fell in love with coaching before I was a coach. And I remember it like burned in my brain, just burned. And one day I was so fed up with work. I walked into work and I just looked at my boss and I said, I'm leaving for a week. And I could do that because I wasn't getting paid, because I wasn't reaching my quota from the month before. So I literally just said, peace out. Like, I'm leaving. I'm going to Myrtle Beach by myself. She's like, when you leave? I'm like, in 3 days, I'm leaving. And the reason why I did that was because I needed to get away from everything that was happening. I needed to get away from my job. I needed to get away from the toxic relationship I was in. And I had to figure things out on my own. I had to have that time to think. I got in that car. The radio was not on. And I drove down Myrtle Beach from Ohio. And everything became clear to me. Just everything became clear. I had to become a coach. So I signed up when I got back on July 7th of 2008. Okay, I'm going to fast forward. I sucked at coaching for a year. Awful at coaching. I didn't know what I was doing. I was 23. I was still that guy. I mean, I was obviously mature for my age because I had a job, a career in the finance industry. But at the same time, I just graduated college. 6 months before, I was playing beer pong in a basement with my buddies. So there was a lot of immaturity there. I didn't know anything about building a business. Nothing. When I signed up as a coach, Barbie looked at me and she said, "You're not going to make money doing this." That's what she told me. "You're not going to make any money." I'm like, okay. I'm like, thank you. All right. Well, that's good. I mean, I just love helping people, but you know, hopefully I can make a little money. She's like, "You're not going to." She was an Emerald coach, right? Yeah. Great pep talk. And she was an Emerald coach at the time, and she didn't really have a belief. She was just doing what I was doing. She was just loving helping people, just like she helped me. And she earned a little bit of money. She was earning a few $100 at the time. And I didn't know what I was doing, and she didn't know what she was doing. So her and I, we both were just kind of floating around in Team Beachbody, not knowing what we were doing. There wasn't the training like what you guys have today, right? There was nothing. We just had to figure it out on our own. And for a year, I really, really struggled. And the thing was, I was struggling with my job, and I still have my job, and I was struggling really bad with it. And then, you know, I met my wife, by the way, and then her and I got in some real bad financial situations. And we were put on government support. We had a child, and here's the second moment. Here's the other moment that really changed the course of my life. And this one is financially. I'll never forget the moment I walked into the grocery store one day and we grabbed the formula for our daughter, and I had to walk up to this counter and put the formula on the belt and hand the cashier the card. I had to give him the food stamp card. And it was at that moment that I, once again, let all of the emotions just come in. I was failing my wife. I was failing my daughter. We were sleeping on a couch. We ended up sleeping on that couch for 3 years. We had a 1-bedroom apartment. We had $50 to our name. We barely could afford our bills. Obviously, I wasn't making enough to pay for our groceries or formula for my child. And I can tell you what, guys, there is not much worse than being a man and knowing you have failed your family. Because it was at that moment that I felt like someone walked up to me and punched me right in the gut. And we got home, and I sat my wife down on the couch, and I looked her in the eye, and I promised her, I said, "Babe, if you give me 1 year, 1 year of sacrifice, 1 year of hard work, and I'm talking, I'm going to have to bust my ass, I promise you I will give you a lifetime of freedom." You can ask her that. She will tell you that that's exactly what I said. 1 year of hard work and sacrifices, and I'll give you a lifetime of freedom. And that was in 2010, the year I won Top Coach. So we went from being on government support in late 2009 to a 6-figure income by 2010 in 1 year. I worked my ass off. My office was my couch. I woke up and just started working. 18 hours a day, I don't know, 16, 18 hours a day. I wrote down, I remember I got this dry erase board and I hung it in my living room wall, right? Because that's where I worked every single day. And I wrote down Top Coach 2010. It was my goal board in big black letters. Every single morning that I woke up, I looked at that. And I reminded myself what I needed to do and the effort that I needed to put in every single day to achieve that goal so that I wouldn't let my family down. Every single day. And like I said, guys, when you let the emotions come in and feel it, like truly feel the pain, you don't ever want to feel it again. I never, ever want to feel that pain again. And going through that 2010, that was it for me. That was it. That was the spark of where we are today with our businesses. And it's pretty remarkable because we've achieved a lot. But more importantly, I've got my family out of this situation and we have freedom. But now for us, and it's been this way for 6, 7, 8 years now, we've achieved so much financially that it's not even about us anymore. So it's kind of interesting because whys have to shift along your journey. You guys are going to learn this. Jamie and Steve, you guys have probably already been to this point. Your whys have to constantly shift. Ours did, because my why, my motivation at first was to get my family out of the situation. When I achieved that, you're like, what now? And then for me, it was, okay, how can I help my team? What can I do? How can I pass this on? I've gained so much knowledge and wisdom about this business. What can I do to pass this stuff on to them and help them change their lives just like we changed ours? So I started really digging into leadership. And then I think the bigger thing for me is not winning Top Coach, but the guy that I brought into the business, Wayne Wyatt, he won Top Coach twice after I did. So in 2010, I was Top Coach. The guy I brought into the business was Top Coach 2011, 2012. And it was pretty remarkable to see what he was able to do with his team. And it was incredible to know that I somehow, even though the dude's a total rock star, I somehow knew that there was a little part of me in that footprint. That I was the influence. I brought him into the business. And look at the amount of people that he's helped. It's incredible. But that's my story, guys. And the biggest takeaway, again, is you have to allow yourself to feel the pain. It's okay to feel the pain. Because pain forces you to move. It forces you to take action. You don't want to feel it again. I didn't want to feel like I was when I looked in the mirror that day. I didn't want to feel that pain again that I felt in the grocery store line. So I did whatever I had to do so that it didn't happen. And it changed my life. All right. So now we're going to get to some really good stuff. So now's the point. Now that you know my story, okay, and it's already 8 o'clock. I didn't want to go this long. I'm sorry, guys. Can I get till 8:30? Can you give me till 8:30? All right. I promise I'm going to rock it. Now I want you to bust out your pens, okay? Because I sat down for about 45 minutes before this call, and I, just like I do with every other call, I write down notes. Because I want to make sure that I'm on track And then I'm giving you guys incredible takeaways that are going to help you move your business forward. And these probably aren't things that you've, not heard. You've heard them before, more than likely from Jamie and Steve. But maybe there's something that I can say that's going to be different, or that's going to help you in a different way. Or maybe I resonate with people better. I don't know. But maybe you're going to get something out of this, and that's what I'm hoping. So I sat down and I wrote down five of the absolute best tips I can give you. Okay? And then afterwards, right before the call, I'm like, oh shit, there's six. There's 6 of them I want to give you. Okay? You guys ready? All right, number 1. Get uncomfortable. Get uncomfortable. If any of you guys on this call, all 180 of you or whatever, are comfortable right now, you're not moving forward. The only time that you can ever move forward in your life, whether that's with this business or your relationship with your spouse, is when you get uncomfortable. So I'm writing a book right now, and it's called Just Man Up. I'm about 120 pages into it. And this is one of the first things that I talk about in the business section. And there's a really good example that I love that I use in the book. And I said, there's 2 people, right? You have person A and you have person B. Person A, just picture, like person A, right here, A, has this bubble that surrounds them. Okay? This bubble. This person A, knows that they're supposed to change. They know that they need to change. They're not happy with their life. They hate their job. They hate their relationship with their husband. They don't like where they're at. But the problem is, person A is comfortable. They think they're comfortable. They think they're stuck in this bubble. They think that they're comfortable. Deep down inside, they're not. Absolutely, there's a war going on, but they think they're comfortable. So anytime that they get the motivation to change, they stick their toe out, right? They're like, whoop. They stick their toe out of this bubble, and damn, it's cold. It is cold outside that bubble, man. And they're like, whoa, can't go out there. It's too cold. Right? Person A. And maybe a lot of you guys on this call are person A. When things start to get uncomfortable for you, you pull right back into your comfort area. And then you have person B. And I would consider myself person B. Thanks to my dad, which I'll talk about here in a minute, and my mom. But person B is this person that sees this bubble and just punches it, like, get the hell out of my way. Anytime they want to change, they bust out of the bubble and they stay outside of that bubble. And all of a sudden, there is no more bubble. So they are constantly floating around in this mass of uncomfortableness. That is me. I love to feel uncomfortable. It's the weirdest thing. But I love to feel uncomfortable because I love to challenge myself. I love to see what I'm truly capable of accomplishing. So there is no bubble for me. Where you have 95% of people that are people A, they're sitting inside this bubble, and you guys know because you guys are reaching out to people and you're trying to get them to change, and they keep coming up with excuses. Why do they come up with excuses? Because they're comfortable where they are. We have to teach them how to become uncomfortable and to help them understand that being uncomfortable is how you change. So 95% of people are stuck in this bubble. And then you have the 5%ers or the 2%ers that don't have a bubble. And what's so cool though, what's so cool and that I found is that the more you force yourself to be uncomfortable, the more those things that you are uncomfortable with become comfortable. Because just a really brief story, I was awful speaking on stage. I was the kid that would go and I was in college. I was in a public speaking class and I forced myself to do that. I don't know why I did that, but I hated it. But I forced myself to do this class because I had this awful fear of speaking in front of people. Every single time that I would get in front of this class of 10, 15 people, I would shake so violently and I'd get insanely sick afterwards. Like not puke. I stressed myself out so bad that I would literally get the flu or something every single time afterwards, or mono or some crazy shit. I hated speaking on stage. Then I joined this business and there was an opportunity for me in Columbus to get on stage and speak to 200 people. And I'm just shitting my pants at this point, guys. Like, I'm scared to death, but I'm like, I gotta do it. I gotta do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want to be in front of two. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do with my hands. I don't know where to stand. What am I supposed to do? But I forced myself to get on stage and do the thing that I feared most. I forced myself to get uncomfortable. And then all of a sudden, I did it again, and did it again, and did it again, and did it again. And here we are today, and I love speaking. Love it. It's a huge passion of mine. I love being on stage and helping people and sharing my story because I have incredible stories to share. But I forced myself to be uncomfortable. That's the only way that I'm now able to be comfortable on stage. So that's number one. You have to burst out of that bubble and force yourself to do what's uncomfortable every single day. Guys, getting on the phone and talking to a coach prospect, it might scare the shit out of some of you guys. And it's, my coaches is the same way. You got to do it. You got to do it. That invite that you are scared to death to put on social media, on Facebook or Instagram, you just got to do it. You learn. You learn as you go. Nobody starts off doing everything perfect. Nobody. You just have to do it. The biggest thing for success, the biggest tip for success is to take action. Like anytime that you just think about doing something, just freaking do it. Don't contemplate about it. Do it. And I saw somebody, Abby said the 5-second rule. Yeah, absolutely. Mel Robbins, right? Yeah. Number 2, and dang, I'm going to have to speed this up. Develop yourself, okay? We talk about personal development a lot. All of us do. Jamie and Steve, I'm sure they do all the time. There's a little baby bunny. Oh, might be coming in my garage. Oh, no, it's gone. Okay. So, personal development, it's baffling to me that so many people don't do personal development when every single successful person they've ever met has said to do personal development. It's like, dude, like, hello, wake up. You got to do it. You just got to do it. And I think the hesitation of personal development is that people think that personal development is just rah stuff. It's just motivation stuff. No, it doesn't have to be that. Personal development is just developing yourself in some sort of area. It could be in leadership. You could read leadership books. The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell is my favorite book. Right? You could read mentality books. The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz is my favorite book. You can read social media trainings. You can watch videos on social media trainings. There's a bazillion Instagram stories trainings out there now, right? There's things that you can pay for. There's Facebook ads trainings, right? There's so much stuff out there that you can develop yourself. Do it all the time. Constantly be learning. Constantly work on improving who you are in every aspect of your life. Hell, again, it don't even have to be about the business. It could be about relationships. My book, part of my book, has to do with the relationship with your spouse. How to better your relationship with your spouse, how to better your fitness, and how to better your business. How to have success in all those areas. And a lot of the things that I've learned have come from other people that have just shared their knowledge. But you guys have to focus on developing yourself every single day. And the best, John Maxwell puts it best. He says, your leadership ability, what did he say? I'm trying to think of exactly how he said this. The people under you, the people who look up to you, your team cannot pass you. They cannot pass you. You're the one leading them. If you have a ceiling, they have a ceiling. Yes, you're going to have those rare occasions, but people will follow you. The more you improve yourself, the more others are going to improve that are following you. That's just how it is. Why? Because you're sharing that. You're teaching it. I teach this stuff to my team. Jamie and Steve pass on the knowledge that they're learning to you guys. So they're raising their leadership level, which is causing you guys to raise yours. And that's apparent. That's very obvious by what's going on. You have almost 200 people on this freaking call. You have to work on yourself every single day. That's number 2. Number 3, this is a big one, guys. And I just shared this on stage at Leadership with 5 other Million Club members. Number 3, learn how to handle failure. I'm going to tell you right now, understanding failure and embracing it is probably the biggest tip that I can give you tonight. Because I've been 10 years in this business and I have failed thousands of times. It all hasn't been roses. There's been some hard times. Many things that I've failed with as a Beachbody coach. But there's a huge difference between me and the majority of other people, and maybe you. When I fail, I don't look at it as a bad thing. I smile because I know that this is one other way to help me move forward in my life. And it all goes back to my process that I use on how to handle failure. And I'm going to share that process right now. And it's a 5-step process. And I really want you guys to write this down. I want you to pass it on to your teams. Number 1, accept and embrace that you're going to fail. So maybe a lot of you guys are newer coaches. That is the hardest time to be a coach because the learning curve is tremendous. And you're going to fail over and over and over and over again. People are going to tell you no. You're not going to know how to lead people. You don't know how to throw invites out there. I could go on and on and on, and you're going to fail so many times with everything. Instead of getting frustrated, which most people do, embrace it. Look at it as a positive because that's what it is. And I'd be curious, and I can't see everybody, but I'd be curious to how many of you do get frustrated when you fail. The chances are it's most of you, right? Yeah, I see a couple hands, right? So it's most of you. I want you to stop that. Because I'm telling you right now, if you get frustrated at failing, you've just limited your potential to ever move forward. Embrace the failure, number one. But number two, analyze the failure. It's great to accept it, okay? Yes, it happened to me. What next? Now you have to analyze exactly what happened. Why did you fail? And write it down. Like literally bust out your pen and paper, or if you want to do a Google Doc or whatever you want to do, and write down write down the failure and write down why you failed with it. Number three, then you figure out a solution and you write that solution down. Number four, then you seek help. Then you seek help. And what do I mean by that? You might have a solution, or what you might think is a solution, and then you go to Jamie and Steve, and they're going to be like, no, that's not the right solution. Because I've done that, and it didn't work. You go to someone who knows more than you, and you say, what can I do? Here's what I failed with. What can I do differently next time so that we don't do that again? And number five, most importantly, take action. Right now. I already talked about this. It's all great if you come up with a solution to the issues, but it doesn't mean shit if you don't do anything about it. And the problem is that most people have these incredible ideas when they do fail, but they never implement it. They never do it. They never take action. Because they're like, oh, I'll do it next week, or I'll do it in 2 weeks, or I'll do it in a month. And then a month goes by, and you forget about the whole situation in the first place. So I want you to take this process, and I want you to have a turnaround of 1 day. 1 day. Turn around, and at the end of day 2, you take action on that failure. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you use this process, if you just do this process alone in your business right now today, you start it today, you will not believe where you will end up in a year from now. Just this alone. Because most people are clueless how to handle failure. They go about it the wrong way. But you take this process and you do it every single time you fail, all of a sudden your business and your life will change. Number 4, learn how to organize and follow up. It's crazy to me how many people don't know how to stay organized or to follow up with people. Guys, I'm telling you, what is it? Jim Rohn? Or is it Zig Ziglar? The fortunes in the follow-up. It's Zig Ziglar. No, Jim Rohn, right? Nobody knows. Okay. It's one of those two. Jim, yes. The fortunes in the follow-up. And it is so true, guys. If you're not following up with people, you're missing the boat here. Because there are so many times where it takes me reaching out to people 10 times for them to say yes to me over the course of 3 years. Just because you get a no doesn't mean no. It just means not right now. Maybe they're stuck in that bubble. Maybe they're that person A, and they're just not ready. They're not ready to do it. But eventually, they're going to have that pain moment that I talked about, and they're going to come back to you and say, I'm ready to change. Like, let's do this. You just have to keep being persistent with them and keep showing them that you are there to help them make a change in their life. You have to stay organized with this too. I don't know what you guys use. I use Streak with Gmail. Streak is so simple to follow. I mean, I don't know, Jamie, Steve, you guys might have something else, but there's all kinds of follow-up systems that you can use. But what's so cool about Streak is it's just a Gmail extension, and I just put it in Gmail, and I can create pipelines for all my customers. So, for example, if I have someone, let's say that I put an ad on Facebook for my challenge groups that I have going on, right? And I will have a Streak pipeline that is just for challenge groups. So if I have someone that's interested in a challenge group, I'll make a little section that says interested in the challenge group, and I'll put their name and email in that section. And then I'll put join the challenge group, right? I'll make that a part of my pipeline. And then I'll put follow-ups along with that, weekly follow-ups. And then I'll do approached about coaching in that pipeline. And then I'll put signed up to be a coach in that same pipeline. So what I do is every time with these people that are reaching out to me and I'm reaching out to them, I'm putting them in a pipeline. And I know where they're at. I know where they're at in each stage. So then I just move people to the next pipeline or to the next stage in the pipeline. So if someone orders, I put them in the join the challenge group. If someone gets incredible results, I'll put little notes and then I'll follow up with them about coaching. It's just simple, guys, but you have to have a method of tracking people. Gather the emails. Gather the emails. Every time that you talk to someone, a customer or anything, get their email. Stay organized. And I'm going to tell you guys this too. If you don't send out weekly check-ins to your customers, you're missing a huge opportunity. Send out weekly check-in emails to your customers. Just reach out to them and say, hey, I'm here to help. You can talk about your groups that you have coming up, but give tips, give value. Why should these people continue following you? Because if you're not constantly giving them value, they're going to find somebody else who will. Weekly check-ins is a great way to do that. I've been doing it since 2008. All right. What do I have written down here? What time we got? 8:18. Okay. Number 5. Okay. I think this is a big thing. And I know it is for you guys because you guys do a fantastic job. You got to stay in your lane. Number 5, stay in your lane. It's crazy to me how many people want to reach out to every single person on this planet. You're going to relate to people who are like you. The people who are like you are the people who are going to build empires, and you guys are going to be a family. The moment that you start inviting everybody to become a coach or to be a part of your challengers, then it doesn't mesh. Your goal is to create a family type atmosphere. You want to create a culture. It's just like for me, I'm going to give a really good example of this, right? So for me, I believe in God, right? I'm a family man. Integrity is the most important thing in my life, right? If there is someone that comes to me about coaching or about the products that is not in line with my integrity, I will go tell them to find somebody else. I want people on the same train as me that are just like me. Because when we're all alike, we all can move in the same direction. And this goes back to branding, right? I mean, branding is a big part of this. How you put yourself out there and who you're reaching out to. You know, you guys know. There's a lot of women on this call. A lot of you guys are probably moms, right? Your goal is to reach out to other moms that are like you. You know, my wife is a mom. She's a wife. She reaches out to women who are in the same situation as her. That's the people who she appeals to. That's her market. She's not going to connect with a 45-year-old man. It's just not going to happen. They might want to connect with her, but no. But they're not going to connect. You see what I'm saying? She stays in her lane. I stay in my lane. I attract men to the business. I attract men. I just talk to men like that. I stay in. I have a lot of men on my team. 99% of the people who come to me about my groups is all men too. Why? Because I'm marketing myself this way. I'm branding myself this way. And I'm going to tell you guys, one of the best things that you could do for yourself, and you guys, your team just does an incredible job, so I'm probably speaking to the choir here, or preaching to the choir. Professional pictures, you have to do them. You have to do them. So Melinda and I, we have a photographer that comes once a month, and we just have professional pictures taken of our lifestyle, of us working out, with us, of our kids. You know who does this the best is Chelsea and Rob. I mean, they're the king and queen of incredible Instagram pictures, right? But you have to stay in your lane. Okay? And number 6, and this is the big one, is your work ethic. You're not going to outwork me. Like that's just the truth. Like I love y'all, but you ain't going to outwork me. It's just how it is. It's my mentality. And I'm going to share a story with you guys. It's a really interesting one, okay? Because I have 9 minutes, which is awesome. I didn't think I'd be able to get all this in, but I'm going to share a really good story with you guys. So I was 12 years old, and I actually think I just shared this on social media today. I was 12 years old, and I just started playing travel baseball. Right? So we traveled all around the country, and I tried out for this team, and I made it. I don't know how I made it. Like, seriously, I was the worst player in the team. I was the number 9 hitter, which is the worst. If you guys know anything about baseball, I was the number 9 hitter, and I was the right fielder. Like, that's a double bad thing right there. I was the worst player in the team. And I was probably one of the smallest kids on the team, too. And I remember being upstairs one day, right? And I'm upstairs playing Donkey Kong or Mario. I can't remember which one, but I was always playing on my Nintendo. And I hear this yell from the basement, "Hey, Spence!" Like, "Yeah, Dad, yeah, what's up? Hey, come down here for a minute." I'm like, "Oh, no. Like, what does he want?" So I paused the game because when my dad asked me to do something, I do it. Like, that's just how it is. I just do it. And I get down to the basement, and he's standing there at the bottom of the stairs with a huge net set up and a bucket of balls. He tells me to grab my bat and my batting gloves. And he said, "You're going to hit 500 balls off the tee right now." And I'm just bitching and moaning. Like, come on, man. Like, I want to go up and I want to finish my Donkey Kong game. And just let me go finish my game. But I did it. I had blisters. My hands were bloody as all get out after 500 balls off the tee. The next night, "Hey, Spence!" I'm like, damn it. Come down. Like, all right, 500 balls off the tee. Next night, 500 balls off the tee. Next night, 500 balls off the tee. This happened for months. And I'm like, all right, I'm in the game. And you know what? I get up to the plate. At the plate, I can see the ball better. I now know where to take pitches. Like an outside pitch, I knew to drive it opposite field because that's what I worked on. I worked on so much. Hitting off the tee. I would set the tee at different spots, and I'd practice hitting it to different parts of the field, into the net. I did that so much that it was like closing my eyes, and I could just do it in my sleep. My batting average increased. My confidence increased. My game started improving. Then I understood what my dad was trying to do and teach me at 12 years old. You might not have all the talent in the world, but if you want to be great at something, you got to work your ass off for it. And it was at that moment that he no longer had to tell me to go down and hit off the tee. I willingly got up and did that every single night. Every single night. For probably 12 years. 10 years. A long time. I'm going to fast forward to 2000, when I was 15 years old, right? So I was 12 there, I was 15 in this next story. My coach, I was at a hitting camp, okay? And my coach that was teaching all of us, we're sitting in the circle, there's probably 30 or 40 or 50 of us kids, 15-year-olds sitting in the circle, and he says, "All right, guys, I want you to raise your hand if you can get up here and hit 50 balls off the tee without hitting the tee once. I'm like, this has got to be a joke. Like, come on. Like, all right, dude. Like, all right, here. And I look around. Like, I go like this. I'm like, oh, shit. I'm the only one to raise my hand. And he just looked at me with this smirk, and he's like, come up here and do it. I'm like, okay. I'm like, I've done this so many times. I hit 50 balls off the tee without hitting the tee once. And he goes, I want you to close your eyes. I'm like, I know I can do that too, because I've done that many times. I get up and I hit probably 20 balls off the tee with my eyes closed. And he's like, okay, now switch to the left side. And now at this point, I'm a little scared because I've never hit left-handed in my entire life. I switch over left side and I struggle a little bit, but I did it. And he looked at me, he said, I know your work ethic. I know that you can become a left-handed hitter. Now, why is that so important? As a right-handed dominant person, my right eye is my dominant eye. That means when I'm looking at the pitcher, and this is advanced stuff, by the way, but if I'm looking at the pitcher from the right side, my right eye picks up the ball, right? So my back eye picks up the ball. Now, if I'm switching to the left side, my dominant eye is now first, and I see the ball 10 times better. I went home, and from that night on, I hit 500 balls off the tee left-handed and 500 balls off the tee right-handed. By the time I got into high school, I started hitting left-handed, which was just a few months. And I made varsity as a freshman. To make a long story short, I got a college scholarship. I played for 4 years. My junior and senior years, I got first team all conference, first team all region, all nation. Was I the most talented kid? No. But I outworked every single person on my team. Every single person. And I took that work ethic and I applied it to my business. And I applied it to my relationship with my kids. And I applied it to the relationship with my wife. And that is why I was able to win top coach. That's why I'm 33 with incredible freedom that most people never achieve in their lifetime. That's why I'm so happy. Because I will not be outworked. So I want you guys to have that mentality today. You will not be outworked. Okay? If you can take these 6 things, these 6 tips, you're going to come into Summit a freaking diamond coach or a star diamond coach because you have plenty of time to do it. That's it. I'm done.
Damn.
Yeah.
I don't even have any words.
I don't know if you saw it, but she was bawling her eyes out at one point there.
I think everyone was. Gosh. That was seriously
amazing.
so good and so inspiring, and I honestly don't even have words. This is the best call.
Does anybody have questions, or did everybody just learn everything they need right there?
Yeah, please ask questions. I got time, guys. So if you guys want to go a little bit past, I'm totally okay with it.
That was seriously so good.
Yeah, and it just puts so much into perspective too, because like some things come naturally to you, some things don't. And just going through your list of stuff just showed me the stuff that I need to double down on. You know, it's sometimes you know what you're bad at and what you're good at, but seeing everything that you need to do all together is huge. So that's awesome.
There are some questions, but your chat is moving so fast that I can't get to them.
Everyone's freaking out.
I think there's a Kim that had a question. Kim?
Yeah, can I just talk the question?
Hi, Kim. Yeah.
Hi. So when you were going through your list, you talked about the person A versus the person B, the number one thing about being uncomfortable. So I am most definitely person A. So do you have any advice for how to kind of shift out of person A and be more person B to help other people like be person B?
Yeah, you just
Like how to help coach people be.
well, first you got to do it. You just do it yourself. What are you afraid of? Like, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of in this business?
Like reaching out to people that I don't know and talking to people.
You know what makes that better and easier? By reaching out to people you don't know. That's what
Like
you
the
got.
more I do it.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like me going on stage and speaking, right? I didn't want to do it. Like I didn't want to do it. It was the most uncomfortable thing in the world for me. How did I get better at it? I went on stage and I spoke. It's like team calls. I wouldn't have been able to do this 10 years ago. But I'm here now, right? But how? Like I did it. I just did it. So what you have to do is you have to take your fears and you have to eliminate them. And you just have to do what you fear the most. Because I'm telling you, all these things that you're scared of right now, all these things, they're not legitimate. They're not real fears. It's just the fear that you've created in here. It's not real. And you'll learn that. Once you do this stuff and you do the things that you fear most, you're going to learn that your fear was just not even worth being scared about. So that's my advice is you just have to do it. And the thing is, I'm going to say this too. You will never be able to help others do it until you do it. Then you're being fake. You have to do it yourself. And this goes back to personal development. So you tackle you right now. And you got to get out of your own way. And you just have to do what you fear most. And do what's going to make you uncomfortable. Because once you break out of that, then you can teach others how to do the same. It's the example that I'd use, right? Your leadership ladder, your level, people can't pass you until you pass that certain point. So if you're going to sign up coaches on your team, you're going to have to do this for you, and you're going to have to do this for them.
Okay, so I have a question for you.
Yep.
So besides vision, what is the biggest thing you focus on with guiding your coaches past Diamond?
Leadership. I mean, I'm really, really big in the leadership, and I think that anybody who really wants to build a sustainable income, you have to learn how to be a great leader. It just doesn't happen. I know a lot of people that are 15-star diamond coaches that aren't leaders. And their income is reflected by that. Like you might think that they're making a ton of money, they're not, because they don't know how to lead people. They don't know how to duplicate. They don't know how to get others to lead others. You see what I'm saying? Leadership is definitely the thing that I focus on the most.
Amy had asked, when is your book launching?
That's a hard one. I'm trying, guys. Here I am coming up with excuses. I'm so busy, like crazy busy right now with my business, and we're revamping Melinda's business too, that I've kind of taken my eye off the ball a little bit, but I will get it done by the end of the year.
Sweet.
I will. That's my goal.
Well, after this call, you've got a lot of people that are ready for that to come.
Well, I'm excited. I mean, it's called Just Man Up, but I'm telling you right now, it's not just for men. It really is for women too. It's awesome, but it's me. It's a very straightforward, no bullshit book. You know, I'm not the type of guy that beats around the bush. I just tell it how it is, and that's how the book is. And I hope it helps a lot of people. So yeah, it's going to come out. I'm going to self-publish later this year. So
awesome.
All right, so last question. Shelby had said, I'm a full-time student and I'm starting a full-time job in less than a month. What are your tips for navigating a busy schedule like that?
So when I started coaching, I was working 16 hours a day as a financial advisor, right? And it's so funny you brought that up because one of my newer coaches that reached Success Club 10 in his first month, just last month, he came to me today and he said, he's a branch manager at a bank. And he said, what do I do? It was the exact same question. And it was a very straightforward answer. I said, you find the time to do it. If you want to build it, you take an hour or two a day and you just build it. You just do it. You put that time aside and just dedicate 100% to the business. No distractions. Like, get off your damn phone unless you're working on your phone. Get on your computer, shut off the TV, go in a quiet room and work and grind and follow up with people and reach out to people. Do that for 2 hours. I did that, right? I did that very late at night when I was working my job, and I made it work. You just have, listen, time, I'm going to tell you right now, I hate excuses. I hate excuses. When somebody says I don't have the time, I call bullshit. I just do. Because if you, just like with anything, if it's a priority for you, you're going to make the time. So what you're saying, and I'm not saying that this is your case, Shelby, but if you don't make the time, then it's not a priority for you. So Shelby, you have to make it a priority. Sit down, take an hour. Even an hour would be fine. And if you can do 2 hours, do 2 hours. But if you can dedicate just 2 hours, then maybe you can get to that point to where you can get to that, to have to make that decision, whether you do Beachbody full time or whether you do, your job, whatever. But hopefully you have that option. But you will get that option, just like everybody does, if they work hard enough. So,
love.
Awesome.
You're the best. Thank you so freaking much.
We really appreciate your time, your knowledge, and thank you for spending Monday night with us, man.
I think you just blew everyone's brain.
Yeah, it's gonna help our team immensely, so we really appreciate it.
Well, thank you guys for having me on the call, and if you guys need help, I'm here. You guys are more than welcome to, reach out to me. I'll probably get a million messages now, but
yeah, we'll book you here again in a couple months.
All right, guys. Thank you again, and y'all have a good night.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Thank you.